The mining industry is experiencing tough times. A slump in commodity prices following a decade-long investment boom has left many companies struggling with too much debt. Gold miners are no exception, with prices of the precious metal languishing at 4-year lows. Today I'm joined by Jake Klein, Executive Chairman of Evolution Mining, a mid-tier Australian miner founded in 2012 with ambitious plans to expand during the downturn. I started by asking him whether the gold price had reached a floor.
It's a feast or famine cycle and industry that we live in, and certainly there are no signs of inflation. The US dollar is strong. Bernanke seems to have got the economy going, and Yellen seems to be doing a good job following that. So it's hard to see near-term catalysts for the US dollar gold price.
What about US interest rates? There is an idea that these could rise later this year. How would that impact on the gold price, do you think?
I suspect that it'd make the US dollar stronger. More people putting more money into the US dollar. That's not a positive for the gold price necessarily. On the flip side, if it's in relation to potential inflation fears, inflation is gold's best friend.
There's been quite a significant shift in the Australian dollar against the US dollar. How's that affecting Australian miners like yourself?
The iron ore price has fallen massively, coal price has gone down. That's very positive for gold miners because we're cost takers, and as a cost taker, all this malaise and difficulty which the iron ore sector is having a positive impact on our cost structures. And of course the Australian dollar going down has a big impact on our revenue line. Gold's at over $1,500 Australian, which is very good for us.
Is this huge downturn, is that creating opportunities for mergers and acquisitions and pick up bargains on the cheap?
The major gold miners, the big gold miners, they're all overgeared. Their gearing levels are around 80 to 100% of their market capitalization. Investors are wanting them to deleverage, so they're selling assets. At the other end of the spectrum, junior miners are finding it very, very difficult to raise capital. So as a mid-tier gold producer like Evolution, we made $27 million of cash last quarter. We suddenly find ourselves in a position where investors see us as good cash generators with the capacity to have some growth, meaningful growth, but also to be able to acquire things in the junior sector or disposals which the majors are making.
Evolution has recently agreed a deal to buy the Australian mines of Lamanca, the private miner owned by the Sawari family. Why have you done this?
Well, we've said consistently that we want to improve the quality of our portfolio. So buying the La Mancha assets definitely does that. They're longer mine life, lower cost, better quality, better cash flow producer assets than what we have. So it gives us a next step up in the delivery of our portfolio and the improvement of our quality.
Australia's economy is very dependent on resources, particularly iron ore exports. Can its economy ride out the downturn, or is there pain ahead?
I think there's pain ahead. I think you can't take $100 off the iron ore price and everything to keep going. Commodity prices have come down very significantly, and whilst I can only really talk about the resources space, people applying for jobs, high quality people losing their jobs right across the space, from service providers to finance providers to resource companies. High quality, well paid people are now looking for work. So there is definitely going to be a flow on impact. How significant that is, I don't know, but I certainly recall reading the headlines in newspapers a few years ago that this is a once in a lifetime boom and we mustn't waste it. It seems to be over, and we may have wasted it.
In your previous job, you were leading a company that was very focused on the Chinese market. When you look from Australia towards China, how do you see their economy progressing over the next few years?
I think China's a long-term sustainable economy which is going to have some blips. 7% growth over, is it 30 years now, consistently? Eventually you're going to have a period where you have a slight decline. Most economies would be happy with 7% growth.
Thank you, Mr. Klein.
Thank you.